everyone, my name is Van Du. Today I'll be presenting on Karen Horney, focusing on how her life experiences and historical events influence her groundbreaking psychological theories. I chose Horney because of her innovative perspective on personality development and coping strategies. Karen Horney was a pioneering psychoanalyst who lived from 1885 to 1952, beginning her life in Germany and ending it in New York. As a neo-Freudian theorist, she boldly challenged traditional Freudian concepts, particularly those regarding women's psychology, and eventually founded the American Institute for Psychoanalysis. Her major theoretical contributions transformed our understanding of personality development. These include her theory of basic anxiety and neurotic needs, her three interpersonal orientations describing how people move toward, against, or away from others, her emphasis on cultural influences on personality, and her concept of the real versus idealized self. Horney's significance in psychology is threefold. She was among the first female psychiatrists to develop a comprehensive personality theory. She introduced cultural factors into what had been biologically focused psychoanalytic thought, and she provided an alternative understanding of feminine psychology that continues to influence modern approaches. This timeline illustrates the major periods in Karen Horney's life and the significant world events that influenced her development as a theorist. Her life journey is divided into 6 key phases: early life from 1885 to 1905, education from 1906 to 1911, marriage and family spanning 1909 to 1937, professional development from 1913 to 1932, her emigration in 1932, and finally her American career and publications from 1932 until her death in 1952. Below, we can see the parallel world events that shaped her thinking during each period: Freud's influence and early psychoanalysis, the women's rights movement in Germany, World War I, the Great Depression, the rise of Nazism, and World War II. Throughout this presentation, we'll explore how these personal experiences and historical events directly influence her theoretical contributions, showing how Horney's revolutionary ideas emerged from the intersection of her life circumstances and the transformative events of her time. In phase 1 and 2 of Horney's life, we see the foundations being laid for her later theoretical contributions. Born in 1885 near Hamburg, Germany, Horney grew up with a Norwegian sea captain father who was strict, religious, and authoritarian. Her mother, who was more liberal, provided a closer relationship and likely a contrasting parental influence. From 1906 to 1911, Horney pursued medical education at the universities of Freiburg, Göttingen, and Berlin, which was remarkable for a woman at that time. 1911 was a pivotal year, as she both received her medical degree and experienced the significant loss of her mother. During this period, 2 major world events were shaping the intellectual landscape. Freud was establishing psychoanalysis through his early publications, and the women's rights movement was challenging traditional gender roles. Women faced limited opportunities in education and professions, with Horney being among the minority who gained access to higher education. These early experiences directly influenced her later theories in 3 key ways. Her relationship with her authoritarian father gave her insights into what she would later call basic anxiety. Her experience with gender discrimination led her to question Freudian views on women, and her medical training provided her with a scientific approach to psychological theory. These foundations would later enable her to develop revolutionary perspectives on personality development. During phases 3 and 4, Horney established both her family and professional identity. She married in 1909, had 3 daughters, and began psychoanalytic training in 1913. Professionally, she co-founded the Berlin Psychoanalytic Institute in 1919 and taught there for over a decade. This period also brought personal challenges, including her brother's suicide in 1923 and separation from her husband in 1926. These developments occurred alongside World War I, women gaining suffrage in Germany, and the economic instability leading to the Great Depression. These experiences directly influenced her theories. Through her observations of family dynamics, her personal experiences with loss, and her clinical work with trauma patients in post-war Berlin, These insights would become crucial to her understanding of anxiety and coping mechanisms. Phases 5 and 6 represent Horney's American period and her most productive years theoretically. In 1932, she emigrated to the United States, initially working as associate director at the Chicago Institute for Psychoanalysis before moving to New York in 1934. After finalizing her divorce in 1937, she founded her own American Institute for Psychoanalysis in 1941. This period saw the publication of her most influential works, from The Neurotic Personality of Our Time in 1937 through her culminating work Neurosis and Human Growth in 1950, just 2 years before her death in 1952. These developments occurred against the backdrop of the rise of Nazism in Germany, which prompted her immigration, the ongoing Great Depression, and World War II. These experiences profoundly shaped her mature theoretical perspectives. Her cross-cultural experience living in both Germany and America highlighted the importance of cultural factors in personality development. Her break from orthodox Freudianism gave her the freedom to develop independent theories, and her immersion in American individualism influenced her focus on self-realization. During this period, Horney's most distinctive and enduring theoretical contributions took their final form. One of Horney's most significant theoretical contributions was her concept of basic anxiety, which she defined as a feeling of being isolated and helpless in a potentially hostile world. Unlike Freud, Horney emphasized cultural and social factors in personality development, rejecting biological determinism in favor of environmental influences. She also provided an influential critique of Freud's views on women's psychology. These theoretical innovations were directly connected to her life experiences. Her childhood relationship with her authoritarian father gave her insight into how parental behavior creates anxiety in children. Her experiences with gender discrimination led her to question theories based on biological determinism, and her migration between Germany and America provided her with a unique awareness of how personality development varies across different cultural environments. World events also shaped these theories. She observed the widespread anxiety and trauma caused by 2 world wars, witnessed the changing roles of women during the early 20th century, and experienced firsthand the cultural differences between Germany and America. This combination of personal experience and historical context allowed Horney to develop a more culturally sensitive and environmentally aware approach to understanding personality development and psychological distress. Horney's theory of the 3 interpersonal orientations represents one of her most influential contributions to psychology. She identified 3 distinct ways people cope with basic anxiety. Moving toward people, the compliant type, involves seeking approval and acceptance from others, often through people-pleasing behaviors. Moving against people, the aggressive type, focuses on seeking power and control as a way to manage feelings of insecurity. Moving away from people, the detached type, involves seeking independence and emotional distance as protection. These theoretical concepts were directly shaped by both her life experiences and historical events. Her professional challenges as a woman in a male-dominated field gave her insights into different coping mechanisms. Her clinical observations during the Depression and war periods showed her how people adopted different strategies to manage anxiety during crisis, and her personal experience of migration and establishing independence in a new country informed her understanding of detachment as a response to uncertainty. Through these connections, we can see how Horney's theoretical framework emerged from the intersection of her personal journey and the turbulent historical period in which she lived. In her final theoretical contributions, Horney developed her concept of the real self versus the idealized self. She emphasized self-realization as the healthy goal of development, contrasted normal self-image with neurotic self-image, and identified what she called the tyranny of shoulds, the impossible standards people create for themselves. These mature theories connected directly to her life experiences and historical context. Her personal journey from orthodox Freudian analyst to independent theorist mirrored her concept of moving toward authentic Self-realization. The American cultural emphasis on individualism reinforced her focus on self-development, and the post-war period's focus on rebuilding and renewal aligned with her more hopeful vision of human potential. Horney's legacy extends across multiple areas of psychology. She influenced feminist psychology by challenging gender-biased theories, pioneered cultural perspectives in therapy that remain relevant today, and contributed to modern psychodynamic approaches. Through her life's work, shaped by personal experience and historical events, Horney created theoretical frameworks that continue to help us understand human development and psychological well-being. Throughout this presentation, we've seen how Karen Horney's life experiences and the major world events of her time profoundly shaped her theoretical contributions to psychology. From her early experiences with her authoritarian father to her emigration during the rise of Nazism, personal and historical circumstances influenced her innovative perspectives on anxiety, coping strategies, and the role of culture in personality development. Horney's theories challenged the male-dominated field of psychoanalysis, introduced cultural perspectives that were ahead of her time, and offered insights into human behavior that remain relevant today. Her journey from Germany to America paralleled her intellectual journey from Orthodox Freudianism to her own distinctive theoretical framework. By understanding how Horney's life experiences and historical context influenced her theories, we gain a deeper appreciation for both her personal resilience and her enduring contributions to our understanding of human psychology. Thank you for your attention. I hope this presentation has given you a clearer understanding of how Karen Horney's life and historical context shaped her revolutionary ideas. Do you have any questions?